One thing I know for sure is that when you are holding in or trying your best to suppress how you really feel, your body is going to pick up on it. You're going to somehow see some type of physical manifestation. So unless you want to be big as a house or a blimp, you better find a way to let that stuff out. And I'm not trying to tease nobody, because at some point, I say that because at some point I used to be very, very, very thin. But at some point, I just was, wanting to be so kind to everyone, and I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings while everybody was trying to hurt my feelings. Everybody was constantly trying to humble me or trying to bully me. And so I just harbored all that in. I just would hold all that in, and not expressing how I felt was a physical manifestation that was happening to me. Like, I literally was holding on to those emotions, and it was manifest into weight gain. And it wasn't until like some people just pissed me off to the point, to the extent where I had to check folks, like the weight just kind of started just falling off. And of course, I started working out and, getting back to taking care of myself more, because literally, as when you are amongst people that are just envious and jealous of you, especially if you're someone where naturally you could be a thin person. Like, I was very thin. People used to bully me about being thin, always telling me that I need to eat more, they need to put meat on my bones, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't understand that. I just assumed that, there was a problem, because I was a kid, I was a teen. And I had to realize that these people were really jealous of me and they were bullying me. But I used to literally hold all that in, and like, it was a major awakening when I realized that I really got that motion. And this is why people are trying to constantly come down on me or trying to humble me or say all these things to me. So I encourage you that if you got something that you need to say, instead of being passive aggressive, you may need to get aggressive. Yes, look, I normally speak about God on here and, love and light, but you got to have darkness. You got to have duality. There's no light without darkness. It's just what it is. And so it's going to come a point in time where you have to understand that some people, especially if you're soft-spoken, oh my gosh, they really think that they're just going to just dog walk you. And sometimes you got to back people up off you. And it's okay. When you're an empath, you naturally pick up on so many things outside of yourself. Like, you can literally go into an environment and you can energetically pick up on people. And, if you're blessed with the gifts of clairvoyance, clairsentient, or all the clairs, then like you're hearing what people are thinking or feeling, like it can be overwhelming. So in order to align with these spiritual gifts you have, it's about embracing the things. If you feel uncomfortable in certain environments, avoid those environments. You don't have to force yourself in areas or environments you don't feel comfortable in. And oftentimes when you're around people and they're trying their best to belittle you or to bring you down, those aren't your people. I don't care how long you've known them. I don't care where you really don't want to be confrontation. You really don't want to be argumentative with people. You don't want to deal with the passive aggressive stuff. And if you're around that type of energy and you're picking up on that, it's making you feel uncomfortable, it is having an effect on your body, because those emotions, when you're not honoring those emotions, they're still held within your body. Because when you are experiencing something, although you may not say anything about it, it's still in there. So find a way to express these emotions, even if you got to scream in a pillow, even if you got to book you a session at a rage room or go to a shooting range, whatever. Look, you got to be creative. Go out, exercise, paint. Just find a way to exercise those emotions, okay? One thing I think is very helpful is journaling. You may want to do, do some journal entries and, do like a burn and release, release these things from you. But, allowing yourself to exist in this world, it is a strong balancing act, because especially as a woman, if you want to maintain who you are, okay, you don't want to have to operate outside of your natural energy. You could be someone like me. I have more of like a soft type energy, but just because I may appear fragile, I can be as fragile as a freaking grenade. Okay, so to keep you from crashing out, preventative measures is better than cure. So to prevent all that, speak your piece. If there's something that you need to release, if something's not sitting well with you, speak on it. And to avoid all that, if you don't feel comfortable in certain environments around certain people, avoid them. But it's time for you to love yourself and take better care of yourself. Don't allow these people to stress you out. Don't allow these people to make you feel that, you have to conform to their negativity by, taking on their pain and their traumas. Because literally that's what it is. They're trauma dumping. Okay, and the longer you be around those people, you end up, mimicking similar behaviors as them as well. So, I just want you to understand that so many of us are suffering, and we don't have to. Life is not supposed to be about suffering. And it doesn't matter all this stuff that's happening in media. Sometimes you have to unplug from that. Sometimes I'll take the time to just avoid making content or being in these on these apps and things like that, because they can be very overwhelming and it can affect you too, especially if you're someone very empathetic and intuitive. So, literally let it go and allow yourself to exist in your best version. You don't have to take on any of that. All right. And again, I just want to insert this because, like, just because you're focusing on being a good person, a positive person, a person that is, spiritually focused, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have moments where you're going to be angered. Like, literally, I feel like there is a collective sense of a low grade headache. That's the best way I can express it. Like, it's a collective low grade headache that everybody is trying to ignore. Like, people are uncomfortable about injustices, about the constant, feeling as if you're being hunted or discriminated against. Like, that stuff is real heavy, to constantly be feeling those things. But to pretend like it doesn't matter and just involve yourself in so many other things instead of root causes, you're going to continue to get symptoms of not dealing with your emotions, of not honoring your voice and really speaking up for yourself. You're going to get those symptoms in the form of being stressed, depressed, of gaining weight. You're going to, you're going to feel these things because you're not honoring your intuition. You're not honoring your spiritual pain body. Is a real thing. So you have the ability to do that. You do not have to conform to what it is that people think. People want you to feel as if, you just have to be tolerant, especially, with the current climate of things. They just assume that you need to be tolerant. But, like, we have feelings, and especially now, like, if you're focusing on maintaining your feminine energy, it requires you at times to be balanced with that masculine energy and to assert your boundaries and stand up for yourself and speak up for yourself, and then go back to your default setting of your feminine energy. But yeah, that is a great health plan if you want to really get yourself in tip top shape and physique. A lot of times it's not necessarily about what it is that you're eating, it's the emotions that you're taking on and not expressing. So express more, express how you feel more. Let them have it if you need to. Woosah.